Hello and welcome to round 12 of the BSR Grand Tour live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Marco Balbiner with Sam Kumo on the cameras. And Marco, we have a couple of championships to decide, and we could see a change of position potentially for the overall championship, with the AM championship still just about alive.
Absolutely. Hello everyone and welcome once again to Sebring. Third time we've been here this week for the official Le Mans series, for the SRA GT series, and now finally for the final round of the BSR Grand Tour. So Sam, you're right, still championships to be decided, still points on the line. As you can see on your screens right now, the overall standings with Michael Evdoka and Jamie Ayres and Robinson in the first three positions. Scott Malcolm is in fourth, Wormingham is in fifth, and Lebelli is in sixth. These are the six guys that have qualified for the showdown. And in just a second I will give you the standings of the Murray Walker Cup. I was saying, we have points on the line, and of course, Sam, 3 races still to the classic BSR GT formula.
Yes, 3 races, 2 20-minute races with a random reverse for the start of race 2, and then a 35-minute race 3. The starting positions of that race based on the finishing results of race 2, so it should be a good evening of action. Jamie Ayres all over the place. All of a sudden, got an open goal really for the championship, 48 points. I think then 2 wins. That would seal it. I think it's pretty much F1 scoring, but not F1 scoring. I think top 15 get points. It's like MotoGP scoring. I think that's the best way to put it. And so Jamie Ayres has, like I said, got a bit of an open goal. Stephen Burke, good to see him back out there, taking a slightly alternate line through there. Of course, yesterday, Marco, I didn't exactly cover myself in glory in the sim races for Asia. Had a couple of self spins, also got hit round a couple of times as well. But it is a challenging circuit, this Sebring track. It's a unique circuit, and I would say it's one where you need to do a lot of practice for a good result. And practice was not something that I was at a premium.
Yeah, tough track, like I always say. It's very, very difficult to go around here. Bumps, tough corners, interesting lines that you have to take. Not always the obvious line is the right line around this track. Fast sections, slow sections. And I'm purely speculating, but since usually when we come to a track that has night racing available, we get a night race like Motegi, but I think we might get one in the final race of the evening. It would be fantastic to end the season under the night skies, under the lights, and of course with my favorite thing of them all, the fireworks. But it's going to be, we'll have to wait and see, because it might be completely a speculation on my part.
Yeah, hopefully you're right. It'd be fantastic if we did get a night race. That's a really big challenge. You kind of got the almost like motorway lights, around the first part of the circuit in particular, very much just guiding your way around the circuit, very much almost like an airport or something across this place. Did used to, be an airport. So should be awesome. That, because you tried it in the MX twice, Marco, and I don't think that ended up too well for lots of Joes. Just got a minute to go in qualifying. Scott Malcolm, of course, second in the AM standings. Boy, does he need some good results. I've been talking about that AM championship for a while, Marco, because it's been going on for 12 weeks. Of course, no showdown for Scott Malcolm and Colin Robinson, the 2 protagonists in that championship. But yeah, Malcolm, I've been saying he needs to get some points back, and now he's really going to need to have a favour for Colin Robinson if he's going to make up that gap.
Yeah, clean racing, no mistakes, and of course finishing in front of your opponent as much as he can. That's the only thing that Scott can do today. And we know he's a very, very calm driver, cool, collected, not the fastest maybe, but very, very, very consistent. He will have to use his consistency in order to get the points he needs if he wants to get back and win that AM championship.
And of course, I should just, point out overall championship leader, Michael Docker, he's not here, and that's why Jamie has got a bit of an open goal. And yeah, qualifying's over, but they've got to complete their laps. So Chris Daines just, going past around this circuit. And Marco, sorry for this, but I'm maybe you could do half a lap of a tour for us around this Sebring circuit.
Exactly, now you see on your left some airport buildings and on your right some more airport. I'm kidding. Hard braking zone here. One of the two, you have the airpin right before and then this hard braking zone. We are in the middle part of the track. There are a lot of fast corners. You see, we go left, now we go right. Hard braking again. Very, 90 degrees corner almost. Oh, great slide there by Daines. Then you push very hard. You get this very fast left-hander here. Almost a double apex, hard on the brakes again, and then you get to the most important corner of the track, I think is this one, because here you get back to the Alman straight, 90 degrees basically on the right, floor the gas pedal down, you go and you prepare yourself mentally for the toughest braking zone of the circuit, the toughest corner in all the track, I think, and that is all of course Sunset Bend, a corner with a very wild angle, bumps all over the place, and if you don't respect this corner, this corner is going to turn you around if you're lucky, or put you into the outside wall. And a great driver like Michael Evdoka yesterday got caught out 3 times in that corner, so it's a tough one. As qualifying is over, so I think we can get on with the starting grid.
Yes, and it's Jamie Ayres on the pole position, some 7 tenths ahead of Lee Diemer in second. Then it's Rafe Cullen, a couple of tenths, 1 tenth behind in third. Ronald Moons, good qualifying for him. I think that's his best qualifying in this series in fourth. Stephen Burke in fifth. Chris Daines starts in sixth. Colin Robinson in seventh, alongside Scott Malcolm in eighth. And it's Max Wright rounding out the field. Good to see a couple more drivers today, Marco. Haven't seen a whole lot of Ronald Moons, Stephen Burke and Chris Daines through the season. But those guys straight away on the pace. They're all within 1.5 seconds of pole position and all beating some more, established drivers like Robinson, Malcolm and Wright. So if we don't have a brilliant battle for the lead, which I think we might do, I think that battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th will be very intense.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Moons is a veteran of the V8, Euro V8s, and I think he's also done some races in the BSRTC Pro. I might be mistaken, but I'm sure he has been in some Euro V8s races. And now, of course, get ready for the first of 3 times tonight. We are going to have an extremely long pace lap, but it's good if you want to, acquaint with your surroundings. Especially in a long track like this, you want to be sure to know where you are all the time. Some great camping spots around the track. It's beautiful to see this track during the 12 hours in real life, because when the sun comes down, the sky gets this very bright orange color because of the trees that are very famous around this area. And of course, when the night falls, although it is technically prohibited, you will see a lot of bonfires from the fans because the race takes place in March and it's still a bit cold even though it's Florida. So it's beautiful to see these cars, especially in the darker areas of the racetrack, fly at crazy speeds around, and you see these bonfires in the distance. It's completely different from the other classic Florida endurance race, which is of course Daytona. So hopefully I'm really hoping that we get a night race as the cars go under the bridge. This is going to be one of the passing spots. We missed it earlier in our parade lap during the little parade lap during qualifying. We need to get a good exit out of the first 5 corners, like corner 2 through 5. If you get a good exit, you can go for a move on the inside here. But this is a very tight hairpin, so you need to be committed. Otherwise, it's going to be a crash 100% of the times. And you see how the track is narrow, then it opens up a bit, then it narrows again. and the bumps. So drivers have to be on their toes all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. The car is moving about constantly underneath these drivers, and yeah, you got to be one step ahead. So got half a lap for these drivers to maneuver. Just looking at the championship, it is MotoGP scoring system. So I don't know why I say it's like MotoGP scoring system. It is just MotoGP scoring system. So 25 points for a win, top 15 get points. So of course, the gap currently between Robinson and Malcolm is 47 points. So if uh, Robinson can outscore Malcolm by 4 points or whatever, then that would be enough for him to win the championship in this very race, not even this meeting, but that would be enough to clinch it. So yeah, he's just got to beat Scott Malcolm out there in this race, and that should be it. Jamie has, of course, still got to win a couple of races to overhaul the points deficit currently to Michael Evdoka. The points difference there, I think, is 48 points. So yeah, got to do very well. But yeah, are we going to see Jamie Ayres pull away in this race, you think, Marco, or is Lee Deemer going to be able to put some pressure on him along with Rick Cullinan?
I think Dimmer will be able to keep up for a bit with Ayres. It remains to be seen if he can keep up for the entirety of the first race. Correct me if I'm wrong. You need to stay on the lead lap, I think, to get the points, or maybe one lap down. I mean, it's a very long track, so unless you completely destroy your car, it's going to be very hard to fall more than one lap down. As we are getting ready for the green flag, Sunset Band is coming, and so is the green flag.
Jamie Ayres once again leaving a big gap, and he is still staying pretty much within the rules by just going a little bit wide. Gets a nice run out of that final corner. Lee Deemer is relatively close, but I don't think he's going to be able to challenge him down into turn one. No, he's a long way behind. Rick Cullinan staying in P3 with Stephen Burke already getting past Ronald Mees, and in fact Ronald Mees has lost another position to Chris Danes, so not a great start for him. Burke actually might be able to challenge Rick Cullinan maybe as well as he goes down the inside into turn two, but he's not quite there, and Chris Danes just watching him behind could only get one clean qualifying lap in. He's trying to make up for it by going for a move wherever he can. That's not quite the pace to do it. That Ferrari power though, how strong is it down the straights? He is closing in a little bit, and maybe he can go for a lunge into this next hairpin. But I think he might think better of it. Maybe he won't do, because Chris Danes is down the inside, and he's got that move done, seemingly, although Burke is going to try to stay in there. Chris Danes, though, Marco, brilliant start to this race, from 6th to 4th already.
Yeah, I was expecting him. He's a very fast driver, and now we see Moons on your cameras trying to put pressure on Burke, and of course Malcolm right behind him with Robinson in tow.
Yeah, so Malcolm already getting ahead of Robinson. Looks as though if it ends like this, the championship battle will go on for one more race, or go to race 2 of the evening. But Jamie Ayres, if he doesn't, win this race, then he will certainly, or if he doesn't finish this race, basically he's in a very good position, Jamie Ayres, whichever way you look at it. But he will still want to get in those points. Nice and early today, and Chris Danes, after an awesome start, is round here as Sebring, and he's right to the rear of the field.
Bad mistake there. I think I saw his car bounce either on a curb or on one of the numerous bumps on the track. As you see, Robinson and Wright going at it at Sunset Band. Very difficult corner when you are on your own, even more so when you're trying to make a move. You can get hit by another car that is misjudging his corner. Yeah. Here comes Cullinan for second place on the inside. Another corner where it's very tough to make a pass, and he has to try this time. Not this lap for Ralph Cullinan. Great defense by Dimmer.
Cullinan has been notorious this season for just being unable to make the to get high up on the grid. But in the races, he performs much better. And today, of course, that P3 for him in qualifying. Maybe if he's got a little bit more race pace up his sleeve, then he'll be very dangerous in this 3 races today. Raikkonen really closing in 0.2 of a second. Will he be able to go for a move? It's not too much of a braking zone down into this next corner, and he is almost into the back of Lee Dima, and he is into the back of Lee Dima. A small tap, and those brakes on the BMW are very good, Marco, and just a bit of a misjudgment there from Raikkonen.
Yeah, hopefully the front end of his car is clean. The back end of Dimmer's car looks good, but Dimmer is around, saves the car. He was in the grass for what looked like an eternity and was almost sideways. A great save there by Dimmer. Kalinan's car looks good enough from this rear view camera from Dimmer's Mercedes. As Dimmer goes wide once again, abusing the track limits. And you know, nothing wrong with that, but it really slows you down. As Malcolm is very, very slow. I think it's a slowdown for him. Very easy to get one in the corner preceding the backstretch.
Yes, I know all about that, unfortunately. And Malcolm does fall down into 8th position. And yeah, Robinson now ahead of him. That's not what he needs. Once again now, going into turn 1, there's not a whole lot the defending driver can do, because look at this, it's such a wide entry into turn 1, and Raikkonen will go down the inside once again, but Dima was prepared for it, and he's happy to just go round the outside. Cullinan, though, isn't happy to give in yet, and he might still have a chance going into turn 2. Demon can stick it round the outside there, and he'll have the inside for the King, but the outside once again for the next serious corner, and Demon has surely lost out this position. But Cullinan is a little bit tentative on the inside there, didn't carry the speed through, and he's given his Mercedes rival an invitation back, and he's also giving an invitation to Berg and Means to get involved in this one as well. Down the inside is Lee Dima once again, but Cullinan very deep on the brakes, but the exit has not worked out for him, and from attacking he is now defending. Steven Berg is going to get his nose in there. He's going to be alongside Raikkonen into this next corner where Cullinan was so deep on the brakes last time, but Cullinan does not lose a position for now.
Some fantastic racing throughout this small pack, position through to 4, and in the end the status quo remains the same, even though I think Dimmer went a little bit wide. Yes, he did, and he's in the fence. And that is game over for Lee Dimmer, I'm afraid. Yes, it is. He tows back to the pits, massive front-end damage, abusing the track limits, I was saying before, not recommended. And once again, same corner as the previous lap. This time he wasn't so lucky, and he went straight into the Armco barrier.
Yeah, he's made a couple of mistakes already, so he was abusing those track limits.
Ooh, look at the Ferrari! It's Danes went all the way to the grass, and I think he's retiring. He had a masterful save, but I think he was carrying some damage because he parked the car immediately. Look at that.
Good drift. Fed up though, and that will be it for Chris Danes seemingly in this race. Hopefully Lee Dima will get back onto the track and won't drop a couple of laps down. Berg is still under pressure from Ronald Means. How that has been the story for these two drivers so far, running in P3 and P4. I think this would be their first podiums in this series, with Cullinan only just ahead as well, and Max Wright up 4 positions from last on the grid. He is chasing these guys down right now.
Yes, like we say always in this series, even though the field size sometimes is a bit small, the battles always seem to come out somewhere along the field, and we are having some of the best racing I've seen in a while now in this group here. Too bad that that Dimmer went into the barrier there, as Moons on the inside of Burke. He has to back out of that move. But these guys are really driving well, and I think that this is far from over for this battle for second place.
Yeah, I'm surprised Cullinan hasn't really been able to hold out whatsoever, because Brandt actually was so strong. He was, you know, battling with Jamie Ayres in race 3, I seem to remember. So to date, just not got that same pace. Maybe that BMW not quite as effective around this Sebring circuit, and you can see the difference in lines through that part of the circuit. Ronald Moons with a fantastic exit onto the back straightaway. But as long as you got the inside going into Sunset Bend, you should be okay, because the kink with the wall on the inside is so fast. The inside gyro always has the advantage, and that's very handy for Stephen Burke there. Ronald Moons, though, trying to get closer and closer, taking a slightly tighter line through Sunset Bend, and now, once again, he's got the run. Will Burke be able to defend this one going into turn 1? It doesn't look like he is going to, because Ronald Moons is down the inside and taking a very shallow line into turn 1. It might still be good enough for him, but maybe not, because these two Mercedes going side by side through turn 1. Into turn 2, has Moons got the confidence on the brakes? No, he does not.
You know, you take the first corner a bit wider than your opponent, you will have to go a longer way, but you can be much faster. Then you have to be quick, because you have to defend the inside on the next corner. And this makes racing in these first few corners of the track absolutely amazing, these side-by-side battles.
Wright is now right onto the back of these guys now. And they are losing touch with Colin just ahead. Burke maybe a little bit earlier on the brakes there. Actually, I'm completely wrong. It was actually Moons slightly earlier on the brakes and getting a slightly better run out of the corner as well. He's really keeping tabs on him currently. We're nearly halfway through this race already. Robinson struggling to get in touch with these guys, and so too Malcolm. I don't know why those drivers are struggling today, Marco, but this is further off the pace, and I've seen the two May Walker Cup contenders further off the pace, and I've seen them all season.
Yeah, longer track, tougher track, so maybe the difference between Pro and Am is really standing out today. As we are getting to the halfway point of this race and this battle here now, Colin was able to create himself a nice little gap over P3, but Burke, Moons and Wright will not stop battling, and they are going on the start-finish line. Of course, Mercedes versus Mercedes versus Mercedes, so nice even battle, great move by Moons on the inside.
Yeah, will he have it this time? No, he will not, seemingly, as long as Burke doesn't run out of track. But he absolutely judged that to perfection. Does Moons have the confidence? No, he doesn't really want to go for a lunge. He wants to really be alongside before he goes for a move. But he's got to, get that move done very soon, because Max Wright is all over the back of him now. And it's very much overtake or be overtaken at this point in this race. Max Wright, they nowhere near close enough going into this next hairpin.
Hard on the brakes, so easy to overshoot this corner. I've done that many times. And then the fact that the right-hander closes in on you on the left side of the track, so it creates a squeeze. So going side by side through there is not recommended. Another hard braking zone here. As you can see, Cullinan is there. He's keeping his distance, but he's not been able to make a huge gap over his opponent so far.
Yeah, you wonder if Moons can get this one done on Burke, how quick it will be for him to catch up to Ray Cullinan just ahead, because Cullinan does not seem to have it all his own way. The driver who is having it all his own way is Jamie Ayres, of course, 7 seconds in the lead. And yeah, you can see he can just cruise to 25 points, and he'll be within 23 points of the championship title at the conclusion of this race 1. Means relatively close again, 3/10, not quite in passing range though. Can he take a slightly alternative line once again? He usually takes his Sunset Bend slightly tighter. Gotta do something different as the following jibe, and yeah, you can just see him taking a little bit tighter. Is Burke a little bit wide there? Maybe he was, because he hasn't got an awesome exit, and this time it's roles reversed. Moons on the outside with Burke on the inside, and now can Ronald Moons take advantage of this position? Seemingly not, but he can get the cutback now, and heading into turn 2, he's got the ideal line, has Ronald Moons, but Burke is so much later on the brakes, and once again he holds on to that podium position.
these two guys are putting on a show for us, and you see Max Wright waiting there, maybe for a mistake, because they've been going at it really hard in that first corner in the past few laps, so a mistake from one of these two drivers is not out of the question completely. And Max Wright, no, is pretty safe from behind, but also he's very close to Moon, so maybe we'll go for a move himself, but I think his first option is wait and see what these two guys in front of him are going to do. And of course, like once again, Kalinen in front of them, not being able to create a bigger gap than the one he has got right now.
Yeah, remaining about that 1.6 seconds. But with only 6.5 minutes to go, he might just be okay. In that position, Max Wright all over the place there. Could have very much done a carbon copy of Lee Dima earlier on, but hung onto the car. What does Moons need to do here, Marco, to force this overtake? Because he seems very reluctant to go for a dive anywhere. And there's not too many places where Stephen Burke is slow, so yeah, I know. Moons, I feel, just needs to be a little bit more ambitious.
I mean, the winning idea is for sure a move on the outside on the first corner. You have the better exit from there. Oh, he's going from the inside and a dive bomb into the sunset bend. Look at the cars bouncing, especially on the inside. I think Burke will have a better exit, but good for Moons because he has the outside. But you see, great move by Burke covering there. Max Wright is in the mix as well.
Right, almost managed to get the inside line there, but not quite. I think Moons would like that inside line once again in turn 1, but he's just got to be braver on the brakes, you know, can't force out his opponent. If it means, you know, maybe having a bit of door banging, then, you know, that's okay, as long as he gets the position done, and he needs to be a little bit later on the brakes into turn 2. But around this part of the circuit, it's very much just lining up the car for the next occasion. They are now within 1.3 seconds of Raikkonen on that last lap. Despite fighting, they were ever so slightly faster and on this lap, they've already taken some 3/10 out of Raikkonen's advantage. So they are coming back at him, and this could be a four-way battle by the end of this race.
Yeah, 5 minutes left in this race. Remember, a lap is around 1 minute and 58 seconds. For a race leader, Jamie Ayres, so not a lot of laps left, and this battle continues. If they keep battling, Kalinen might be safe, but still these guys are gaining on him regardless, even though they are battling. So let's see what happens. Once again, I think that Moons has to be very patient on the sunset bend and then try for a move on the outside in turn 1. That's the winning idea. Of course, then from the idea to the on-track result, you know, there's driver ability and all that things in between, so it's going to be tough to make the pass regardless.
Burke feeling the need just to go to the middle of the circuit, then on turning for sunset bend. And Kalinen's a little bit, just taking a slightly alternative line there. I don't really know what's going on there, but here we go. Marco was promoting the move around the outside for Ronald Moons, and can he pull it off here? He's just too wide though. He needs to stay a little bit tighter than that. He's got a nice little run though, and he might be able to go for a lunge into turn 2. But once again, Stephen Burke's there, and Max Wright sees his opportunity, and he maybe sees a position here, but there's contact between the two of them, and they're both lost out from that one. Ronald Moons carries on, and we wait to see what damage Max Wright has got, and it's terminal damage. And if he can possibly finish this race, that would keep him in line for the reverse grid, but he's going to have to stay back to the pits.
Okay, never listen to my advice, guys at home. Because that ended up in disaster, and Moons is able to continue. Sadly, I think Wright is out of this race. Damage on the front end of the number 8 machine there, you see. But he was able, I think, to get the damage only on his front end. I don't think he has suspension damage. Maybe if we can ride on board with him for a couple of corners as he goes sideways there, whilst I mean, he's keeping his steering wheel straight through the straights. so that's always a good sign. But poor Max Wright got it straight into the wheel, I think, the wheel proper, so especially if that wheel is turning a bit, more often than not, you get big damage to the suspension, and in all of this, of course, Burke and Cullinan are almost guaranteed to finish on the podium in this first race.
Yeah, I think that's a slam dunk. Although it means, well, let's see what his sector times there were. He was 2/100ths faster in sector 4, he was half a tenth faster in sector 5, and in sector 6 he was, oh damn it, I was looking at the wrong times. Oh dear, he was a little bit slower then on that lap. He lost about 3/10 through the final sector. I was looking at the times for Rickard and Stephen Burke, because Burke is actually making up that gap a bit. It's not, you know, hand over fist by any means, but he is edging closer. 1.2 seconds now between the two of them. Burke up 2 positions from where he started after that pretty good start. And of course, we've still got the reverse grid Marco. And yeah, these guys, it's going to be interesting for that reverse grid, because we've got some pretty quick guys near the rear of the field. Hopefully Max Wright will be able to get back out on circuit, but also Colin Robinson and Scott Malcolm near the front of that grid as well. It should be very action-packed to see if Jamie S can make his way up through the grid.
Burke all sorts of sideways there, trying to catch back to Cullinan, and this might help, of course, Ronald Moons, as I think this time around the leader will get the white flag, since we've got a little less than 50 seconds to go in this race 1 of the evening. Here he is, Jamie Ayres. He should maybe he's slowing down a bit. Let's see, because maybe he's waiting a bit, but no, he will get the white flag right now. So 1 more lap to go in this race.
Yeah, he could have maybe, could he have stopped? I don't think so. It was 10 seconds across the line. Here is Max Wright then. So Max Wright is still in there. He is a lap down, but crucially he is going to be eligible for that reverse grid. So that's absolutely crucial for Max Wright, as long as of course we don't get like a 6-car reverse or something. He's, yeah, that'd be terrible. But Max Wright, yeah, back out on circuit, and should be able to keep Jamie Ayres behind him for the rest of this event, and that means that we should get a 7-car reverse. Rick Cullinan, here it is then. We've been building it up for over half the race, I think, with Cullinan showing not fantastic pace, and with Stephen Burke closing in the gap. And now can he make his pace advantage pay? Down the inside goes Stephen Burke, but moving across pretty late on there was Rafe Cullinan. And is he a little bit wide? They're both a little bit wide, and Royal Means is watching this, hoping for a mistake from one of them. The Mercedes is bound to be a little bit faster, and in fact Rafe Cullinan is letting his rival pass. I don't know if there's an issue for Rafe Cullinan here, Marco, but he's going very slowly all of a sudden.
Yeah, maybe a slowdown, I have no idea. Or, well, too little fuel. Moons goes by as well.
Maybe feels like getting high up on the reverse grid.
Let's see, because he's changing gears
Nah,
quite
he's
early.
got fuel issue. That's why he's been so slow through the event, because he's got no fuel left.
Bad luck for our driver here, Ralph Cullinan, the Irish driver, as we see Jamie Ayres in the final corner of race 1.
So here comes Jamie Ayres. 48 points the difference in the championship going into this race. At the end of it, it's going to be 23. Jamie Ayres 1 step closer to taking that championship title. With Michael Avdoka not here today. And that was a very solid performance from him. Stephen Burke is going to finish a superb 2nd place with Ronald Moons in 3rd. That's almost certainly their personal best in this series. With Colin Robinson, he's going to scavenge a 4th place. And I don't think, I don't know. 4 points he needed, wasn't it? I don't think he's got 4 points. I think it's 3 points he's got over, or maybe 2 points. The YAM Championship will carry on though. The May World Cup will carry on for a little bit longer. As Scott Malcolm comes across the line, I think he might be out of fuel as well. So a couple of issues for the drivers. Raikkonen really is out of fuel, and he is actually going to finish behind Max Wright, is he? I think so, as long as Wright completes this lap.
Might be, yes. Let's see. I think he has to take a tow from here. I don't think he will be able to get back to the pits. As you can see on the on-screen graphics, he's going 14 kilometers per hour, which is walking pace basically. As Max Wright is about to finish his lap.
I must say, if you're walking at 14 kilometers per hour, that's you're a really quick walker.
Well, yeah.
That's like, of course, they have the walking sprinting in the Olympics, don't they? They have the walking races. I think for those guys, maybe 14 kilometers now. I think for the average Joe, probably not. Max Wright, come on, give him a bit of a push, and there you go. This is what this series is about, and Max Wright is going to give Raikkonen a bit of a helping hand here across the line.
Will it work? Because in Indianapolis it didn't work when they tried it.
They're not building much speed, are they? What's the acceleration like? No, they're staying at 20 kilometers an hour. They're not going to make it. They've got 50 seconds. Come on, guys, gotta move on with it.
As the other guys are on their cooldown lap.
Here we go. They're building up a bit of space. There we go.
Hopefully they can turn through this corner here, because it's not going to be easy to coordinate their steering through Sunset Bend.
This is Hollywood action stuff, isn't it?
They are able to make it. Wow.
Now, who will finish ahead? Will Max Wright just take that 6th place, or will he be happy with the 7th? It looks as though he's going to take the 7th place. He is going to take the 7th place, and most likely reverse grid pole. And Raikkonen, well, he should just be happy that he's crossed the line, to be fair. In 6th position. So, the results from race 1. Jamie Ayres wins the race, 10.6 seconds clear of Stephen Burke in the end in 2nd. Great result for him, with Ronald Moons in 3rd despite quite a major collision. Colin Robinson finishes in 4th, with Scott Malcolm a while back in 5th. Raikkonen ran out of fuel, but thanks to Max Wright just behind him, they both finished the race 2 minutes 46 behind. That's a big old gap, isn't it? With Lee Deemer and Chris Daines retiring 9 laps down. And Sam, I think we have the important reverse grid wheel.
Yep, the wheel is ready to go, and I think it's going to be very close to full, unless we get the minus numbers here. Because the smallest one we have is 6. And it is not going to be full, it is full -4.
Wow. Okay. So that's not Max Wright, it's not Raikkonen, it's not Scott Malcolm, and it's not Colin Robinson. Does that mean that it's Ronald Moons on pole position?
I think so. I think it's Moons, then Burke, and then Jamie Ayres in the top 3.
I swear, but every time we seem to get a small good in these series, it always is never a full reverse, and I always want it to be a full reverse, but it's never a full reverse. There we go. 3-car reverse. Good chance for Jamie S to wrap up the championship then in the next race. Do not miss it. We'll be back with you in about 20 minutes' time. and he will get his foot down any moment now as the pace car pulls in. Tony Klinsmann waits to apply the throttle, and there he goes. It's not a brilliant launch for him, and Michael Abdoka's right on his tail. Can he get into the slipstreams? Just side by side between Foggy, but Klinsmann hangs on to the inside. Abdoka not taking too many risks, and down the inside for Klinsmann. It's a good start for him, just holding on against Abdoka. Foggy into third, Brandon fourth, Jackson fifth, Lutzmore sixth.
And Daledonne goes around at the chicane. He's bringing the car back onto the track, but he lost a lot of positions there. Too aggressive, as I said, inexperienced with his cars, and it showed here.
And Abdoka leads this race, and now Foggy's looking for any opportunity to get past. Brandon looking racy as well in fourth. Klinsmann, he's not used to this, being overtaken on just the second lap. But it seems to be that Abdoka has certainly the pace to win this race. Down the inside goes Klinsmann. Abdoka not building up the lead, but Klinsmann there trying to stay as close as possible. Trying to get the move down into the Casio triangle. Down the inside goes Lutzmore, and he can get that done, and here comes Ritchie. Down the inside, can he get it stopped? Just about, but he needs to get the cut back now. Really dry, and off the track goes Lutzmore. He got the move done. Ritchie might gain two positions here in a couple of corners. Ritchie into the slipstream. Gotta go to the inside, not much defence from Jackson. And Ritchie will just go straight through here, and he goes up into fifth place. Brilliant debut drive for Ritchie out.
Sorry guys, I want to butt in very quickly. Michele Ritchie around, coming out of the Casio triangle. Issues for him.
Yeah, I was watching the live timing. I thought he was going in for a pit stop, for a very early pit stop, but you're right, he went around.
I think Klinsmann might be about to lose a position here. Here comes Foggy. Klinsmann's got to slow down. Don't go into the back of him, Brandon. Oh, that was so close. Klinsmann was desperate not to drop down to fourth. Foggy close, not looking for a move. Do you think that was maybe... Do you think he's quite happy? Do you think that's a sign? Because there was no kind of glance to the inside at all there. Oh, he's off the track. No. But he's held on. He's going to remain in second place. Wow, that was so close. What's that? Oh, what do you think of that?
The commentator's curse?
Oh, no.
Oh, another error.
And Brandon now around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the final S. And Klinsmann started in first place. But on lap 10, he's fallen down to fourth.
And avoiding contact. Well, the other car was
we got another
joining
driver up. So, Rosie Borges has just gone off. McKnight, no. Wow, and now down the inside of both of them goes Michel Ritchie. Down the inside goes Ritchie. McKnight's going to try to hang it round the outside. Ritchie hangs on 2 places in one. We've seen McKnight spend 10 laps behind Borges, not being able to make up 1 place. And Ritchie has made up 2 places here, twice now in this event. Doesn't seem like anyone's going to pit this time round. And
Boosterman is in.
Oh well. So Alex, you were the opposite.
Miles off.
Abdoka's in. So Abdoka's in.
And of course, he pits this time.
Well, now we're really confused because I was hoping that for once Apex Racing TV would know what's going on with the strategy, but that's right in the middle. So he's left himself options, but now a 2-stop's going to be surely really difficult for him to achieve. A driver a little bit off the... Foggy is in. Foggy's in. Is Brandon in? No, Brandon stays out. So surely that's got to be a 2-stop for Brandon. Is Foggy exiting the pits? Yes, he's miles ahead. Foggy is a long... Nicole Foggy with a much shorter pit stop. 9 seconds shorter.
And Johnny Brandon is in from the first position.
Lutzmore in as well, and Jackson. So that seems to be the cutoff. No further than 19 laps on these tyres. Foggy will retake the lead. Brandon still stationary, clearly going on the same strategy as his teammate Michael Abdoka, but where will he be in relation to Abdoka? Abdoka passed. So Brandon still stationary. It's going to be a 35-second stop, 3 seconds slower than his teammate. Stephen Lutzmore gonna be, exactly the same stop for him though, 4 seconds, and Jackson 34 seconds. Where's Ritchie compared to them? Ritchie has jumped them both. So Ritchie with that short stop has gone from 7th to 5th. in that pit stop period. Just building on your point you just said, how drivers aren't really taking advantage. Tony Klusman just made a big error. An error now for Richie. Latimore down the inside. Richie's not going to have a chance, and that's much better than what Richie did in the Cascade Triangle when Klusman made a mistake, because Latimore has pounced on that, and that was a really good opportunistic move in the end. Whitaker's got to let past these two. This is not what Latimore needs whatsoever. But again, Richie's not there to take advantage. Whitaker off the circuit, but lets them through eventually. And again, Richie, he's not really there. What's the chances of there? Oh my goodness, Latimore, another slide. Here comes Richie down the inside of Spoon. Can he make it? Yes, he can. No, he's got a big slide down the inside. Goes Latimore. He's going to have to drag the second part of Spoon, sorry. And here comes back Richie. They're going to be side by side. Going into 130R now, heading up the hill. And Richie, doubt he's going to have a go down here.
Klusterman is in. Yeah, Klusterman is in for a pit stop.
Okay. Yeah, I really should just shut up now, shouldn't I? Because I've been wrong on every single count.
Yeah, number 66.
Oh, he's in.
He's in, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, this is really spicing up now. I was a bit concerned that maybe they're all going to go for 2 stops, but there's a clear divide in the strategy. Foggy in on lap 30 of 56. So, of course,
and Evdoka is in.
Evdoka is in. Oh, wow. Okay.
By the way, and now he's the new leader.
Evdoka's ahead of Foggy. What a quick stop for Michael Evdoka. 7.7 seconds for Evdoka. What a pit stop. He is into the net lead.
And Latimore is around again. Oh no, he's safety.
No. Oh, he's going to lead up to Jackson, isn't he? Here comes Jackson. Is he going to get a slowdown, Latimore? And Latimore does pit this time, so he won't have to serve the slowdown. That's the smart thing to do. Yeah, classic error in this car. We've seen it a few times today. Just the wheel spin is so difficult to control. Really do respect these drivers out here for doing, 56 laps in such powerful cars. Just a little bit of a reference. Foggy is 25 seconds behind, and they both have a stop to go. Brandon's stop is going to be significantly longer, however, but Foggy is closing in at 2 seconds a lap currently, and is now only 3 seconds behind Michael Evdoka. So, I think Brandon's in. Brandon's in.
He's in.
So, this is going to be kind of where we get a decent reference and the target for Foggy, because he's going to undoubtedly be a long way behind, but it's how far behind it is going to be the important question. And Jackson in it as well, yeah. So Evdoka will lead. No, Evdoka's in! Oh my goodness. So Evdoka had that super short second stint. You know what? I don't think that's worked for him, has it? Surely not, because he's going to have the same length of pit stop as Brandon. And, just Latimore going past. And Chris Jackson going past as well. Michael Evdoka, Jim McKnight going past. And Jose Borges just going through 130 up. And Klusman, 25 seconds now stationary, and away he goes. So decent stop for Klusman. And I think he might just stick in that 7th place to the end of the race now. He's still stationary. Brandon is coming across the line now. Foggy still stationary. Still taking fuel seemingly. Brandon's going to take the lead. Through goes Johnny Brandon into the lead of the race. Nicole Foggy now gets away.
Definitely tyres, guys. Second sector.
Okay, thanks for
optimal, straight away. Sector 2, optimal. So he's quick.
This is on, so 8 seconds to catch. And he has got, this is lap 49 of 56. This is proper intense now. He doesn't, and he go to the inside here. Big slide for Jackson. Jackson's slow, going to be slow on the exit. Here comes Evdoka. Needs to get the run. This is crucial. Championship point to get such a big slide as Michael Evdoka. But he's still in the slipstream, right behind Chris Jackson. They're not going to clear the 71 car in time. Defensive from Jackson. Round the outside goes Evdoka. He needs this all the way round the outside through the first part. Through the second part, he can get the inside for the third part. He's nearly lost it. Oh my goodness me, I thought that was curtains for the pair of them. Evdoka, I thought he'd made it, but clearly those marbles just affecting him too much.
He maybe doesn't know that Johnny Brandon is on worse tires than Foggy, so he doesn't know that there will. Oh, we got an attack on the outside that was very
he's
risky.
go for it. He's got the inside maybe for the final corner. Here he goes. He's got to go for it. Brandon down the inside. Can't make it.
Long story short, he wants to make the pass. He wants to get the point. Because we don't know if Foggy will be able to pass Brandon, in all seriousness. And he tries again on the outside.
Oh,
they
big contact.
touch!
Oh,
That's a
oh
big
my
crash.
goodness. Wow. That was as close as... Oh, and he's got damage. I think that's Jackson with steering damage maybe. Brandon got decent traction from the hairpin. And Foggy, he's struggling to get any closer. He's 4 tenths behind. This is about the same gap as last time. He should have the run through spoon. This is where he was so quick at the start of the race. And now he's lining it up. He's got to absolutely nail this traction zone here. He's close, he's close. He's nailed the traction. And now here comes Foggy in the slipstream. Any chance into 130R. Warming him, the car, Woodward gets out of the way. Foggy so close. Brandon, surely he's got to defend into the Casio triangle. Brandon defends, to the outside goes Foggy. Can he go round the outside here? He tries it. He can't make it. Can he get the traction on the exit? It's going to be Johnny Brandon, surely, to take the race victory. His 6th of the season, and Brandon gets it. What a race. Foggy in 2nd place. Wow, Marco, that really was the finish we all wanted.
2 hours of racing, and we get this amazing finish.
It's right on the knife edge right now. Brandon closes in the championship. But the race results today, Johnny Brandon, what a race. Pulled off the 2-stopper. We'll never know, I guess, which was faster, the 2-stopper or the 3-stopper, because in the end, they were separated by less than a 10th of a second. Stephen Latsmore, great drive from him. Gotta give a shout out to him. 16.5 seconds off the lead, and he was quite a bit behind actually after the first few laps, so brilliant drive from Stephen to come home in 3rd. Think that's probably his best result of the season, so well done to him. Michael Evdoka, it could have been better, it could have been worse. I must say, I'm not sure if he had the pace of the top 2 out there. Early on, he seemed to be struggling against Foggy, but I think he'll take that 4th place after that terrifying moment down the pit straight. Tony Klusman comes home in 5th after getting pole position. That strategy just never worked out for Tony, and he just lacked a little bit of pace. Also, a penalty in the pit stop, that cost him as well. Michel Ricci, good debut for him in 6th position. Chris Jackson comes home in 7th, could have been a 4th for him, but he was super unlucky out there with that contact. Jamie McKnight come home in 8th. Jose Borges, another good race from him in 9th. Anthony Woodward comes home in 10th. Richard Warmingham, very kind of on his own race out there in 11th.
But obviously there wasn't a lot in it. I wasn't planning to do the 2-stop. I just didn't quite do as well as I'd hoped in quali. So after the first stint behind the top 3, I was saving so much fuel, lifting and coasting everywhere. I thought I might as well go for it. I did start worrying in the 2nd stint because I was lifting and coasting so much more to try and make those laps, but paid off in the end. So happy days.
Oh yes, most definitely. Happy to get a 3rd. I wasn't too confident coming into this round. This track, cars, lights everywhere. Typical slippery Japanese track. But yeah, strategy worked out for me in the long run.
In the final 5 rounds, final 2 meetings coming up in the next month here on Apex Racing TV. From me, Marco and Alex, we will see you in 2 weeks' time at Kota for the penultimate round of the season. Lee Dima is now only second behind Ralph Cullen. I don't know how that's happened. Cullen then was about 8 seconds ahead at one point.
Dima has
And
been
now-
flying.
Yeah, a second a lap every lap. You know what, that kind of slow speed down the straights of the BMW may not be too costly, but Dima, he's got so much more...
Oh, Cullinan with the big slide through the exit of
wow,
Villeneuve.
pressure.
Now he's really got to hold the inside line in Tosa. Now, oh, Dima gets a great exit. Cullinan's going to have to block the inside into Piratella, surely. Surely he has to come across. Dima's going to be through here, is he? No. These GT3 cars, they are quite large. So, you know, your vision can be
Oh,
obscured.
he's got the run here.
This is a great exit. This could be a chance.
God, just go
This time
all
he's
out on the
really,
outside.
really deep on the outside, and Cullinan loses rear, but he still somehow manages to fire the BMW out of the Tosa hairpin, level with the Mercedes, and the BMW is maintaining the straight line speed with the Mercedes. Here we go into Piratella. He throws it in, Cullinan. Does he have the adhesion? Does he have the grip? Yes, he does, is the answer. Dima tries to cut back, but Cullinan is on the inside for Aquaminerali. There is no overtaking through here. Now, Sam, this could be the moment for Dima. Maybe not into Variante Alta now, but he needs to just have a good chicane and set him up. Cullinan is breaking in the middle of the course.
Oh,
Just
he's
not
wide.
the optimal line.
Oh, he's got to defend here. Got to go all out defense line. Get to the
Oh,
inside,
he
get to the
pushes him, he
inside.
hits him. Makes a bit of contact on the straight now.
Oh, he's trying to steal the dummy. Oh, he's got to. You got to defend. You got
Is
to.
he going to have a second chance? Is he going to be down the inside? Cullinan
he's
goes
wide.
deep. He goes deep on
He's
the brakes.
got
He's
him.
on the grass and leads.
but he can get the run off.
But it's the final corner. And can Cullinan respond to that passing move by Dima? He's going to be very close. The line's coming up. Cullinan's got the shortest run, but I think it's going to be Dima. It is indeed. Lee Dima gets to the line and wins a brilliant battle. Brilliant.
Welcome back to the BSR Grand Tour here at Sebring. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Mark Gababnett with Sam Kuma on the cameras, broadcasting on Apex Racing TV. And the car's just getting up now. Is there a formation lap? I don't see a safety car, Marco. Oh dear, this is going quite fast. Okay, I think we're going. Here we go. So, green lights are on, and what it means is away from the pole. Stephen Burke is in second position with Jamie Ayres in third already. Scott Malcolm getting past Colin Robinson. But nice start for means he's got to be strong straight from the start. And here is Malcolm getting an awesome start. They're all off the circuit though.
Oh, what's going on?
And there's a three-way crash. Well, when you got 6 out of the 8 cars off the circuit, Marco, that's bound to happen.
And everybody went wide in the first corner. What happened there? All the drivers were on the grass. I've never seen anything like it's like they put some oil in the first corner. Let's see the replay. So Dimmer was lagging behind, but look, everyone went wide.
Well, I feel sorry for Ray Carmen that he was the instant passer, to be fair. Got away without too much instant. Lee Dima, I think, just having his own crash in the background. It is very close in the lead, though. Currently, Stephen Burke is under big pressure from Jamie Ayres, and of course, this is important for the championship. Ayres only needs, by my calculations, 23 points from these next 2 races. That's about 2/5, I think, to win the championship. So he doesn't really need to win this race, but if he wins this race, that would be it sealed. So yeah, Jamie Ayres trying to get that race victory. Moons, yeah, still running in 3rd. So Burke started in 2nd, up into the lead. Let's see if he can fend off. He was brilliant in defense in the first race, was Burke, and he's so far very resolute. This is only the first lap.
Yeah, extremely close is Ayres. I think he will go for a move at the end of the backstretch. I'm thinking maybe because of the standing starts, the guys were not prepared for that first corner at a different speed than usual, or the cold tires maybe. Wow, on the outside is Ayres, and they're going to be side by side come the sunset bend.
Burke does not want to give this one up, and he's not giving it up, and Burke stays in the lead here as we go on to lap 2. Here comes Ronald Moons trying to get involved. He was struggling to make the moves on Stephen Burke in the first race. Can he make a move on Jamie Ayres in this second race? Round the outside he goes into turn 1, and he might just have a nice little run coming out of this turn 1, but he's not close enough to go for a move into turn 2.
Yeah, everyone sticking to the proper line, luckily for this second time around in turn 1. The gap, I mean, out of all the cars that crashed there, I think that Cullinan is the guy that was lucky enough to get minimal damage, because he's able to hang on with these guys. He was like the meat in a Mercedes sandwich, if I'm not mistaken. But this car looks pretty good right now. So the 5-car breakaway in the front, and Dimmer, Wright, and Malcolm were all involved in that massive crash. I think that spells the end for the Murray Walker Cup. I think the Pro-Am Championship, because Malcolm lagging this far behind, Robinson in 4th, so that should be the end. But we of course are going to wait until the end of the race, because we still have a long way to go in the second race.
Yeah, just for reference, Malcolm pretty much had to win this race with Colin Robinson finishing outside the top 15. Considering that there's only 8 drivers here, you can see how the odds were stacked against Scott Malcolm going into this race, as Jamie Ayres tries to go for the inside there. He has scared Stephen Burke though a little bit off the racing line. And it's all very close, this train of cars. We might even get a move just in the background. That's Robinson trying to go for a move on Moons, and here he goes on the outside. There's not going to be a change for the lead just for now, but Colin Robinson fancies his chances round the outside through Sunset Bend, but Rafe Cullinan getting involved as well, and Cullinan easily makes that move on Colin Robinson up into 4th position now, but back with the lead. Jamie Ayres feels like he can get this move on the outside. This is the situation that Burke found himself in so many times in race 1, defending against Ronald Moons. At the moment, he's being resolute in defense, but he can't cover off that inside line, and Jamie Ayres will surely take the lead now, unless Burke can somehow find his way round the outside. He's going to try to stay level, but it's a losing course, and Jamie Ayres takes the race lead.
That's the position he wants to be if he wants to bring home the title. But look at that, Burke has got a great exit, and he will maybe go for a move at the hairpin with Ayres defending the inside. Smart choice from Ayres. Oh, look at Cullinan there.
Cullinan has made that. Well done. 2 positions gained in about half a lap, although that's not confirmed quite yet. Might just have to look back to the race lead, I think, because Burke is going to do absolutely everything he can to try to come back at Jamie Ayres, and he's on the inside here. This would be an awesome move if he can pull it off. Burke is absolutely desperate to get this race lead straight back, because he knows on pace he has got no match to Jamie Ayres, and for now he is staying close. He's got to make this one stick, and now round this Jamie Ayres, and he could lose 1 position, he could lose 2 positions. He's only lost the 1 position in the end. The trailing pack were just too far behind, but from the race lead to a bit of a clumsy mistake.
Yeah, he bounced extremely hard there in the grass. I think in this track there are bumps even on the on the the escape roads and the grass, and now a little bit of rest for Burke. 0.8 of a second in front of this pack. Ayres, Moons, Cullinan, and Robinson, all bumper to bumper as they enter Sunset Bend once again.
This time, no changing for position, seemingly. What can Means do from that third position? So Means managed to get that position back on Raikkonen, and that was well done from him on Means, because he's really got a chance at this race victory if the top two have a bit of a collision with the BMWs just following in behind. This is what we want to see, Mark. We've got 5 cars here who can all still win this race, I'd say. It's absolutely fantastic to watch.
Absolutely, and remember, the finishing order of this race will determine the starting grid for the third and final race of the day. So massively important to have a good result here for your race 2, of course, and also to have a good start for race 3.
Quite incredible right now. The top 5. The top 4 already in the team, all in the team is. The fastest 2 drivers on the track on that last lap were Lee Diemer and Max Wright. Max Wright, the fastest driver on track, with a 59.11 in 7th position. He was over a second faster than the race leader. He's only 9 seconds off the lead. This could really be a fight amongst 7 of the 8 drivers by the end of this event. Maybe that's a little bit ambitious, but if they carry on fighting as they are, we could well have a situation like that. But this time, Stephen Buck with a much cleaner lap. We'll compare lap times, but it's 0.3 of a second once again with Jamie Ayres, with Ronald Means and Raikkonen very happy just to stick in behind for now.
Absolutely, as they go back to the backstretch once again, look at Jamie Ayres making himself big on the thin side, and Burke made a little bit of a mistake. Maybe was a little bit scared there by that semi-dive bomb by Jamie Ayres, who's now lining up. Maybe a move, but gotta be careful because Moons is very, very close to Ayres as they enter Sunset Bend. Tires are squealing, cars are jumping all over the place, and also Cullinan is coming. Robinson just a bit behind these guys.
Ayres takes back the lead. He was leading across the line. For some reason, Stephen Buck just did not accelerate from that Sunset Bend, and Jamie Ayres takes back the race lead here after a mistake from earlier on. He's almost been gifted that lead because Stephen Buck just got an awful exit from Sunset Bend, and this time you doubt he's going to make a similar mistake to what he did earlier on.
Sam, someone is asking if you are Murray Walker in disguise.
Ah, thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. You might just be being sarcastic and really mean, but I'm going to take it as being nice, so thanks for that.
I loved Murray Walker when I was a little kid in the Formula 1 games, so I think it's a compliment.
Jesus Sterling, thanks for that. Yeah, it's the nicest thing everyone's ever said to me. I'll take it, even if it is being sarcastic. Anyway, Jamie Ayres leading this race 0.4 of a second, and actually, to be fair to Stephen Buck, he has stayed relatively close, 0.3 of a second, and yeah, if he can just stay within this close, he's going to have a chance, maybe at the end of the lap.
Yeah, I thought Jamie Ayres was going to be quick enough to pull a gap, but it's 2 times he went by Burke, and 2 times that Burke has been able to hang with him, and hang with him at an extremely close rate, because they are basically bumper to bumper. So are Moons and Cullinan, and once again Robinson is lagging a bit behind, so this pack is breaking up ever so slightly into 3 different smaller packs. 2 cars, and then Robinson basically on his own in 5th place. All 5 still extremely close, as the tires are squealing once again. Sunset Bend.
Sorry, Jamie Ayres was all over the place. I had a couple of little slides through Sunset Bend, but once again, Burke, not really that quick coming out of Sunset Bend, and by the time they go into turn 1, he's just not close enough. Jamie Ayres maybe taking a slightly early apex, I think, than some of the other drivers, which just makes overtaking a little bit difficult. Someone's also just said, my Walker is a legend, almost implying that I'm not. So, there you go. The debate continues. Oh dear. Again, a little bit sideways for Jamie Ayres, only 0.3 ahead of Stephen Buck.
Ayres still very close. These two are pulling ever so slightly. They are pulling a gap over 3 and 4. They are still there, of course, but even though they are not really battling Ayers and Burke, they are doing their own race, and they are able to pull a gap. So let's see, behind Robinson, there should be, yeah, Dimmer is still a bit behind. I don't think he will be able to catch back to the top 5 unless Robinson makes a mistake, because we are 9 minutes away from the end of the race. And yeah, you can see clearly from these pictures the 2, 2 and 1 formation of the top 5, with Robinson quite clearly losing contact with Cullinan in front of him.
Yeah, just doesn't seem to have the pace of his BMW accomplice. Oh dear, I don't even know what I'm talking about now. And yeah, so he is dropping back 1.6 seconds now. With Cullinan. Yeah, he is getting closer. We've seen Marco overtaking really difficult around this circuit, I'd say, today. And I think it takes a really committed move if you are going to make the move, because it's a narrow circuit, so if you dive down the inside of someone and push them off, there's not a whole lot that the defending driver can do. But the drivers today, to be fair to them, staying very polite and not wanting to pull off too many of those risky moves.
Yeah, the passes that we have seen have been absolutely fantastic, especially the ones that happened in this first part of the track. They were absolutely amazing. Some great battling, and drivers preferring the inside, other drivers preferring the outside through turn 1 and 2. So apart from that race to start, that was crazy, everything has been very, very professionally done today, and we are having a lot of fun, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Also on the chat, wanting a safety car. Well, honestly, I have that power. I don't know, Marco, if you have that power. It's tempting. Don't tempt me to do it, because I'll probably get fired or something if I do put out a safety car. But it is tempting. To be fair, this is pretty entertaining anyway. We've still got a fantastic battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, undoubtedly. But I'm just seeing what the other stuff I can do. Clear penalties, or I can give people black flags and I can disqualify people, or I can remove them from the race. So don't tempt me, honestly.
Sadly, or maybe luckily, I cannot do that, because being a fan of oval racing, I would throw cautions for a spin, basically, because that's how I like to do it, as Cullinan goes really wide. But the term entertainment yellow is going to be stolen by NASCAR tomorrow morning. So whoever wrote that, NASCAR will steal your idea. Entertainment yellow is a fantastic name. As Burke and Moons, see Moons basically sliding through Sunset Bend, as Ayers is pulling away, and Robinson is closing in on Cullinan. So now the reverse. 1 car alone, 2 cars, and 2 other cars right behind. So Ayers is pulling away, and let's remember, with a race win tonight, he will seal the deal. In the 2nd race, he's going to win the title.
Yeah, that should pretty much be it. I will message Mike Kurtock just to see if he feels like turning up for the 3rd race and maybe making a bit interesting. He's done the majority of the rounds this season, but yeah, did contact me earlier on just saying they didn't really fancy like racing today. So yeah, very much given Jamie Ayres potentially the championship victory. I do question though, Micah, how much pace do you think Ronald Means has? Because throughout today, he's just been behind Stephen Burke. He's just, you know, been, yeah, kind of caught behind him. And it looks like he's going to get his 2nd consecutive 3rd of the day. But, yeah, I just feel as though maybe he's got a little bit more potential under that bonnet.
I tell you what, I said he has some V8 supercar experience. I don't know much of his GT3 experience. Maybe he's still feeling the car out, doesn't want to make a mess, and is still searching for the limits of his car. So that's why he's not pushing the envelope too much, especially when he tries to make his moves in turn 1, like we saw in the first race, trying many times to go past Burke, but not succeeding.
Max Wright is closing in on Lee Deemer a bit out there. 6th and 7th, those two are running. We'll mainly pay attention to this, of course, but that gap that is down to 1.8 seconds, and on that last lap, Wright closed in by 6/10 of a second, 5.5 tenths of a second. I do A-level maths, and so that gap is coming down quite considerably at the moment, or very close between Burke and Moons currently. Was down to about 1.5 tenths. I was getting a bit excited there, but yeah, back to a normal gap as they go through this extremely narrow and tight, twisty section of the circuit.
Yes, not a long way to go, maybe 2 laps, maybe 3, more 2 than 3 I think. We'll see. 16 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock in this second race, 20 minutes of course is the scheduled time. Third race will have 35 minutes with a mandatory pit stop. So a little bit of strategy will kick in, and that's always nice, because you can make fun at our expense, because we are wrong most of the times. I have to say tonight the curses have been kept to a minimum.
Oh, this would be a mega curse now, wouldn't it? That would be some proper witchcraft stuff if someone's spun now.
Jamie Ayres is leading, as you can see, so I think he's pretty safe in his position. Behind him it's all going to happen. I think that Cullinan will catch back to Moons if Moons is not able to clear Burke, and I mean time is running out, so it's either one of the two. Either he makes a move on Burke, or he gets attacked by Cullinan. Oh, slow down by Moons, by Cullinan, sorry, by Burke, and Moons goes past him.
Seems as though I got one of them the other day, and I'm surprised he hasn't had to lose more time than that. Actually, Stephen Burke. I wonder if he's still serving a little bit of it. Either way, Rafe Cullinan's going to have a chance going into turn 1. How confident is Rafe? Is he just going to lunge one down the inside? This is his best chance, maybe. That's his best corner chance, at least. And a little bit wide for Burke. He's going to have to get out of the throttle. He pretty much kept it pinned, but that might not be good enough, because Cullinan is down the inside going into turn 2. But Burke there, brilliant in defence so far today, Marco. I haven't seen any kind of even remotely unfair moves from him, and yet he's been very stern in defence.
Good, clean and hard defending, that's what I like. And yeah, Burke too bad for the slowdown, because I think he would have been able to keep Moons behind him. Now Cullinan is of course trying to get his piece of the pie and finish on the podium, as Robinson yeah, pretty much the best seat in the house. Cullinan goes for it, then thinks better and says maybe later. Said Robinson, the best seat in the house, P5, guaranteed top 5. No need to risk it and win the IM Championship with this 5th place finish if things remain like this.
Yeah, of course, that would be a championship victory for Brian Robinson if he stays in that position. In fact, as long as Scott Malcolm doesn't win the race, which right now isn't looking too likely. Burke not quite getting back onto the back of Moons though, 6.5 tenths, and Cullinan is close once again. Robinson's just been watching this one for the entire race pretty much, just hasn't quite had the pace to really mount an attack. And once again a little bit wide and going on to the last lap now for these drivers. He's not going to seem to play a part in this battle, because he is now 6 tenths behind. Not close enough for the move are any of these drivers. Burke closing in a little bit on Moons. The gap is down to 4 tenths of a second now as they go through turn 1.
Oh!
Moons! Well, he had an incident in the first race, and what a mistake that is from Ronald Moons to throw away a second position, his second podium of the day, and here it was. Just got on the curb seemingly on the outside, and Marco, if you do that lots of times, then that's kind of bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, a classic Sebring mistake. Into the tire wall now. Luckily for him, Dimmer is a long ways behind him, but still he will be furious with himself throwing away a podium like this on the final lap. So Cullinan gets his third spot finally, and maybe Ryan get a bit more. He wants that second place. Let's see.
Yeah, that would be an awesome result, and of course it would help him in race 3. He's giving it absolutely everything in race, Cullinan. I don't think it's going to be close enough though, going into Sunset Bend to properly launch and attack. You can see Jamie Ayres like 3.5 seconds out in the lead. Took the lead once, had a bit of an off, but since then he's been absolutely superb. Jamie Ayres got back the lead once again, and he'll round Sunset Bend to surely clinch the championship. He'll take the lead of the championship for the first time this season, going into the final race. And Jamie Ayres wins here at Sebring. It was ever so close across the line between Berg and Cullinan. I don't know if we could get a replay of that final corner, because Cullinan was all over the place, seemingly. And in the end, it almost cost him a position to Robinson as well. And here it was. I think it must have been a mistake from Burke or something, because Cullinan, I saw him really close, and there he was. Burke went very, very wide, and it nearly invited Cullinan back into it. He was on the power so early, and it nearly cost him a position against the other BMW driver.
And so another race is in the books, the penultimate race of the season, to be precise. And we are waiting on Scott Malcolm. Where is he? Oh, here he is. A little bit second end looking, is Mercedes maybe third end.
And of course we should just point out, well done to Colin Robinson. He is the champion in the Murray Walker Cup.
Oh, you see, very smart from Scott. He is trying a standing start in the eventuality that the pace car driver doesn't show up for race 3. And he crosses the finish line in 8th place. So yeah, congratulations to Colin Robinson. Think we have the race results on the screen so far. Yeah, here we go.
Yep, Jamie Ayres takes away his second race victory of the day and the championship lead with a 3.3 seconds ahead of Stephen Burke, who, pushed him for much of the race. It wasn't comfortable for Jamie in the end. In second position for Stephen Burke. In third position, Rafe Cullinan. Really good performance from him. Colin Robinson just following him behind in fourth, the Murray Walker Cup champion. Well done to Colin. Ronald Moons, what a mistake that was on the last lap, starting from pole position. If it weren't for an off early on, you really wonder whether or not he would have been able to fight for the race victory maybe. But here we are in fifth position for him, with Lee Diemer in sixth after the first corner incident with Max Ray. All those drivers within 15 seconds of one another, despite having damage. Really does show the equal pace amongst these drivers today. And Scott Malcolm finishes in 8th position. We will be back in about 25 minutes time, I think, for race 3 of the evening, final race of the BSR GT. Richard warming him. Currently, Evdoka's just a little bit ahead of him. Warming him does take that lead. And it's going to be awkward for these final few corners. Warming him floors it. He's away quick. Evdoka actually gets a pretty good run, but he's not going to be able to challenge across the start-finish line just behind Steve Labelli. Under pressure from Stuart McFadden already, but it's warming him away well from the pole position. Evdoka challenging into turn 1, and Labelli having to go defensive against McFadden. McFadden looking to the inside. Could there be contact between these two? Not quite, but he's going to have to go defensive once again. Ayres just watching just behind. Jamie Ayres could not quite take that. Stuart McFadden nearly took third position at the start of the race, but they're losing each other a lot of time now. And the top three pulling away up ahead. Ayres is just concentrated on trying to make this move. He's gone to the outside. Maybe came to a little bit of a dummy to the inside. Not quite. McFadden couldn't shove him off the circuit though, and round the outside goes Ayres. He just wants the cutback now, but they get on the power at a similar time. Slightly better traction there for Jamie Ayres, and McFadden is squeezing him right to the wall. That was good defense from Stuart McFadden. Ayres to the outside gain as the track narrows. Down the hill they go. A little bit deep on the brakes perhaps as McFadden, but there's not too much you can do on the exit of this corner because you're straight into the next complex. It's very much single file here, but Ayres goes into the back of McFadden ever so slightly, but that was nice defense from McFadden.
Quick glance at the front of that Mercedes, looks okay, as I think that is a dive bomb there. We see Cullinan on the inside of Malcolm. BMW against Mercedes, and he makes the move.
Another one coming up, Colin Robinson, and here we go side by side. McFadden on the outside, Ayres on the inside. It's going to be switched around though this time. Ayres has got to try to just hold it round the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next one, but can he just stay level? Yes, he can, Stuart McFadden. That is brilliant driving there to just get his nose ahead, and he's going to have the inside as well into this hairpin. This is the great racing you can get around Motegi. Can he just push Ayres off? He tries to, and they make contact. That could have been a whole lot worse. Ayres may still even have the inside for the hairpin, but he really got his run compromised by that move from McFadden. Evdoka in the slipstream, just watching behind as the other XVR driver of Steve Labelli. Evdoka will look to the inside, and he's gonna maybe have his nose cut off a little bit. Warming leaves too much space, and Evdoka is gonna have the inside for this next corner. No, he's not. The run from Warming was just about good enough. He's gonna have to go defensive once again here. Evdoka flashing his lights, and he's gone to the inside here. Warming round the outside, he's gonna have the inside for the next one, and he almost runs off the circuit now. Evdoka side by side, he's going to have the inside for the next corner, and that should be job done for Michael Evdoka. That's a perfect move. Really driving well there, Michael, and he's into the race lead.
Everybody has joined this fight for fourth place, and I think the sooner Ayres can pass McFadden, the better for him, because otherwise these guys will go to town and try to make moves left and right. Great defending there, once again, almost 3 wide going to the hairpin now.
Oh, Ayres nearly into the back of him. I think that Ferrari has a nice little bit of straight line speed, doesn't it, which just allows him to fend off any attack. That is a surprise though from Ayres, and he's trying to go for it at a corner that you would not dream of doing it, and it's going to leave him vulnerable now to Lane O'Connor. He's trying to move through. Cullinan nearly loses it in the background. Malcolm as well. Robinson trying to get involved. For now, it seems like McFadden's going to be fine. O'Connor to the inside of Jamie Ayres. The two Mercedes side by side, and they've made contact, and Ayres has lost 2 positions in a couple of corners. Yeah, the amount of cones dispatched there. Oh dear. Oh, down the inside. Oh wow, that was a nice attack from Ayres, and it's put Robinson off. That was brilliant from Jamie Ayres. That was a really nice little tactic to just glance to the inside, and he's got the power through this turn 6, and he's going to be able to pull ahead.
You see, Ayres is very, very close, but he's a little bit scared, I think, because it might happen that O'Connor's car can glitch.
Inside of him.
Inside, yeah. That's a way to make a pass.
Deliberate, was it?
Oh man, he went straight through him and got the. Maybe that was the only way somebody could pass McFadden tonight, because he's making that Ferrari very, very large. Let's see a replay.
This must have been a mistake. Yeah, that was so a mistake. That was not a deliberate move. McFadden, though, could get pushed off a little bit.
Probably will not hit you, as Cullinan goes once again very wide there at the final corner, but I think he got a bit scared, because you see this car in the rearview mirror. It's suddenly so big. As he goes for a move on turn 1, he says, "You are." Oh, the touch!
Ayres goes through. ambitious move from a long way back into turn 1, and he was a long way back. Yeah, it's very clumsy there from Stuart. Yeah, it wasn't even on the brakes, was it? He was just a bit too eager to get on the throttle. He's been bang on. Malcolm, just watching this, he's not going to get involved in any unnecessary collisions. That's been his tactic for the entire season. And how has that profited him, Marco?
I had talked to him after last week's BSR, this week's, I should say, MX5 race.
No, come on.
No.
Oh
Man.
we're so sorry. But here we go. Michael Abdoka going to come round the final few corners here at Motegi, and he's going to take another race victory. He's had a real upturn in pace these past few weeks, and here he comes, Michael Abdoka, to take race 1 here at Motegi. And what a good drive that was from him. So James Underhill round the final chicane now. Scott Malcolm along with him. They haven't gone too early here. When will he go? James Underhill from the pole position, and away we go for race 2 of the evening. It's not a great start. No, so they haven't gone. They all got on the brakes. And that was chaos, and Underhill has gotten a horrendous start. Dima also got a poor start. It's Malcolm leading the race, but I wonder if that's going to be a jump start for him. There could be contact, and there is contact. The XBR drove around. Ayres was in there as well, but it's Malcolm in the lead with Robinson right on his tail. McFadden perhaps sees a potential race victory. Stuart McFadden down the inside of Colin Robinson, and they go into turn 5 now, and he has got that position.
Very surprised that there was nothing major, because you know,
change for the lead, sorry.
Change for the lead. Yeah, McFadden is in the lead.
He's now up into 5th position, up 5 places himself. Underhill is now down 6. What a chaotic first lap this is, and Dima's gone for the move, and that's a great move from Lee Dima on Colin Robinson.
And Malcolm went straight for the box, so he has a penalty.
And yeah, that's put his showdown chances maybe in a bit of jeopardy.
Synchronized spinning there. No contact, I think, between the two guys. Going to be very defensive here on the inside. Let's see what Abdoka has in store for him.
Going defensive straight away with Stuart McFadden. You can just about muscle your way around the outside here, and Abdoka's going to try to do it. He's going round the outside here, and that's going to be an awesome move from Abdoka. McFadden tries to force him off, and now it's going to be side by side going into this next section of course. If McFadden can just hang it round the outside, he's going to have a chance. Abdoka trying to stay in there, but just cutting him off is McFadden. Now heading down this pit straight, and I'm sure McFadden will go right to the inside, right to the pit wall. Abdoka looks to the inside. He cannot find a way through.
To McFadden, and there Ayres is flashing his lights to Abdoka as they go once again back to the double left-hander here that will bring them under the bridge for the first time of the 2 times they get under the bridge.
Oh, he's going to crash.
Hard hit for Abdoka.
Like it's going to be in the corner of the car.
He hit that ball at home.
Wasn't it?
Look at that, he went on the grass. Lost the drive a little bit even on the sand, and that was a very hard hit. And he's holding the wheel, you see on the right side, to go straight.
So he's right on the tail of Lee Dima. He's going to not qualify for the showdown. Either of these drivers, and Josh Thompson is going to look to the inside. Lee Dima not putting up much of a fight, and Thompson moves up into the top 3 positions. He was quite comfortable in the lead, seemingly had the pace to fend off his rival. But now this is super close. This is where McFadden hit Lane O'Connor in the last race, and look at Thompson. He's gaining. Not going to be in with a chance into turn 1, but someone who does fancy his chances is James. And now Thompson's going to go through 1. He's going to go through 2 maybe. This would be an incredible overtake. Josh Thompson takes the lead of the race from absolutely nowhere, and it's only taken him a handful of laps to go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. And whilst these two carry on fighting once against one another, and there's going to be contact. Ayres is round. Dima moves up a position. Thompson in the lead.
Using the 2 dueling drivers as a pick basically, and getting into the corner in 3rd position and getting out of it in 1st position, as we see more contact there. I think that was Max Wright in his red car.
Contact.
Stevens, save it. Oh man, in the gravel, 3 wide there, wasn't going to work, as McFadden is defending now from La Valle, and now he is blinking.
Yeah, We haven't talked too much about Lavelli, and actually, this time McFadden not defending. That's very uncharacteristic of him today.
Evdoka extremely close to McFadden there, yet to lift, otherwise there would have been contact.
Oh,
As
Lavelli's off.
Lavelli is off. Lavelli had a very, very bad corner.
Oh, it's off
around
again, and he's
in
hit
the wall.
wall. Well, he looked so strong, didn't he? And just lost it early on there. Maybe overheated the tyres a little bit. I just got on the grass and it's clumsy there, similar to what Evdoka did, but with far worse consequences.
Let's see how will McFadden defend, of course, like he always does, all on the inside. Great run from Evdoka.
This is a repeat of the situation they had earlier on in the race, but Evdoka that time didn't feel the confidence to stick it on the inside. To be fair, McFadden was super late on the brakes, and that's compromised his run coming out of the final corner. And Evdoka sees a gap down the inside, but McFadden was not going to give him that gap. Welcome back to the BSR Grand Tour, the last BSR Grand Tour in this format. The last race in these GT3s, of course next season going to the Porsche, and we're here for race 3. I think we might already be getting away. No safety car once again, standing start once again. Jamie Ayres, will it be once again for him, taking away the flag? Away we go here at Sebring. Steven Burke staying relatively close going into turn 1, but I don't think he's going to be able to mount an attack with Cullinan under a bit of pressure. Burke goes for it though, and he very nearly made it. That was really brave there from Steven Burke. Cullinan holds on to P3 with Ronald Moons already gets him past Colin Robinson. Robinson once again not getting too strong starts out there with Max White and Scott Malcolm straight away gets him past Lee Deemer.
Yeah, a good start. Of course, you might have noticed it's nighttime here at Sebring, as you see all the little lights that Sam was referring to in the beginning on the side of the road, much like an airport. Cullinan, Moons very close, Robinson and Wright close as well, as we see Ayres and Burke already having a little bit of a breakaway from the rest of the pack.
Right, I think maybe with a slowdown or something, because he was very slow out of that corner, and he seems to be lifting off quite a bit, is Max Wright, and yeah, seemingly maybe getting a bit of a slowdown there, so that's not what you want on the first lap. Had made a decent start. Jamie Ayres being pressured here by Steven Burke in the opening stages. They've already got a 1.3 second gap back to Rafe Cullinan, 35 minutes for Jamie Ayres. He is going to win this championship, so nothing Michael Evdoka can do about it now. And yeah, this is it is awesome watching these cars just navigate their way around this circuit, Marco. It's not the easiest circuit at night, but yeah, you very much got that path in front of you with the lights.
Yes, Steven Burke going really wide there on the entrance of Almond Straight, and he had to do a little bit of counter steering action, and he lost a bit of time as Robinson is trying to make a move on Moons on the outside. You see these beautiful shots at night. You can see the brakes glowing red hot because of the of the big braking that these guys are making coming into these corners, as the first lap is in the books. 2 laps in, remember, 35-minute race with a pit stop.
Yes, and that pit stop will be crucial for this race. A little bit sideways there was Ronald Moons, and the dirt didn't exactly help either. So running in 4th position, but already 3.5 seconds off the lead after just a single lap.
Wright is around, I think. There's some tire squealing. Oh yeah, he's in the fence.
Wasn't going well for Max Wright before this after his bit of a slowdown. And just getting on the bumps there, I think, Marco, and that was enough.
Yes, and he hit the fence not once, but you can see it now twice, trying to get his car into the black stuff, and he has a big mountain to climb. He's dead last, and Scott Malcolm is in front of him and has a nice gap. So back to the front. Burke is in first. What happened?
Yes, I don't know what has happened here for Jamie Ayres, and it's quite a comfortable lead as well for Steven Burke. So as Ayres dropped it through Sunset Bend, maybe. Yes, he has, I think. Don't know if we could just get a replay of that, because I think he just turned into the corner, didn't have confidence in the rear end, and straight away had to turn out a bit just to, yeah, make sure that he didn't spin. Let's see. Yeah, that was
Oh,
what
what a
happened.
save.
And it was a nice little save there, Mark. It cost him a bit of time, but it's much better than sliding into the wall, like I know from that sunset then.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, like they say, no? And Ayers is already closing the gap. It seems like these nighttime conditions suit him very well. He was also very fast with the daylight. Of course, tractor is tough to navigate in the day. Of course, even in the night, it's very, very tough. Even though, like you said, you have these runway style lights on the side of the racing surface, but still, it's never easy. But you know, if you hang on and you finish the race, you're going to get some nice fireworks in the end, and they have to hang on for 30 more minutes if they want to, you know, participate in the spectacle of the post-race fireworks. Long ways to go until then, so let's focus on the racing with Ayers lining up maybe a move on Burke and Cullinan trying to pull a gap over Moons.
Yeah, I wonder if Cullinan's going to be able to factor in that lead battle. So far, he's quite a bit behind, isn't he? On that last lap, he was about 8/10 slower than Stephen Burke, which is odd, because I say, you know, they've been pretty even on pace throughout throughout the day. So quite odd there for Rick, and he needs to get back on it, because this could be a race victory for him if these two have a little bit of a battle. Jamie is looking each way for a move, and he's very nearly into the back of Stephen Burke. Here he goes though. You really need to be side by side, because it's one of these kinks where if you get your nose in the inside, there's not a whole lot you can really do, and you're most likely just going to make contact and damage your car. Difficult to make a move through this part of the circuit, and Ayers is so nearly round, and he's clearly struggling with that rear end of the car, Marco. That was very nearly into the wall.
Yeah, he's risking a lot, Jamie Ells. He wants to finish the race on the top step of the podium and complete the sweep, as Moons has a good run, great run on Cullinan in Sunset Bend.
Always terrifying going on the inside there, because it's a closing void, no doubts about that. Means can't get the run out of that corner. Of course, yeah, that's a good point there, Mark. I haven't really thought about it too much, but getting the triple today, not too many drivers have done that in this series. Josh Thompson did it at Belle Isle, and then Anwar Smith, I think, did it at Indianapolis the week after, and Michael Docker did it at Phillip Island. So 3 drivers have done it so far this season. It'll be interesting to see if we get a 4th and Lee Deemer into the wall. He's shown pace today, Marco, but just had a few too many incidents.
Yeah, as he's in the pits, he will take his pit stop right now. It should be good enough, and of course his faster pair, as Moons and Cullinan are going at it once again. Not a good day for Lee Deemer in the end, I think. Race 2, he was lagging a bit behind at the start, maybe to avoid a crash. He was able to avoid the crash, but then was clipped by one of the spinning cars. Race 1, I don't remember, but I think he didn't have a good race as well there. So, yeah, he's out of the pits right now, long way to go. But still, he got his fast repair done. I think he should be good with the fuel. So maybe with pure pace, he's going to be able to get maybe couple of position on Malcolm and Wright, as basically we are now having a 3-way battle here for 3rd place, because Robinson, I think, is also in the mix. They are equally distanced, 3rd to 4th and 4th to 5th, so all to play for the final podium spot, as Ayers is once again in the slipstream of Burke as they go into Sunset Bend.
Yeah, where will Jamie Ayers go for a move? There's plenty of places around this Sebring circuit where you can go for a move, but there's not really anywhere obvious, I'd say. But out to that final corner, Burke really does struggle in comparison to us, and he's not going to go defensive. Clearly feels as though the outside line is better, but Jamie Ayres is happy to take this inside line, and he might be happy to take the lead as well, as Stephen Burke runs round the outside of Jamie Ayres, and he might just be able to pull ahead. But will he have the outside line for turn 2? Yes, he will do, and he's going to have to be so quick on the outside here. This could be a brilliant defensive move. If he can pull it off Stephen Burke, Ayres is still in there, but Burke hangs on, and what defensive driving that was there, Marco, from Stephen Burke to hold on to the race lead.
Fantastic bit of driving by both of these guys. Burke defending extremely well. I thought he lost his position at a certain point, but he was able to defend it, and he's going to be under pressure for I think the next few laps. I mean, Ayres will not be happy until he makes the move, so they are side by side once again.
This could be an opportunity for Jamie Ayres. The outside line can work well through this corner. Burke is deep on the brakes. He's got to get it stopped. And he does do superbly. Ayres is nearly round again for the 3rd time. He's had a very near to spin incident. Hangs on to the car though once again. And Burke just pulls away a little bit. Only a matter of time though until the green car catches back up.
I mean, Ayres' mindset is the title is in the bag. Let's go for it, and that has been his mentality all the race long, and that explains the mistakes he's making. Sometimes racing with without pressure can cost you, as he goes wide once again. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. This time I think is a bit bad because he's doing a lot of mistakes here and there, and I think he has to be careful because he could be heading for the fence if he keeps being this aggressive as Moons. I mean, this has been Moons' race all day long, stuck behind a car in 3rd place and not being able to make the pass.
Yeah, painful for Ronald Moons because he feels as though he's got as good a pace, if not better pace, than Stephen Burke. And you think Stephen Burke is fighting currently out there. You know, if he's had this position, he could certainly catch up to the drivers ahead. I'm surprised Cullinan hasn't been able to do that so far. They're just not liking this. Race 3 and race 2, he was so strong. Race 1, of course, he ran out of fuel and was slow throughout the event due to saving fuel. I don't know if he's got something up his sleeve in this race 3, but just not on the pace whatsoever. Here comes Ronald Moons once again though. He's edging closer, closer. That Mercedes power will help him along, and he looks to the inside, into the hairpin. Cullinan squeezes him, and he might just be able to hang on to this position. These two have been going at it for a good 1.5 races now, and Cullinan holds on to the place.
Some great defending there, as I think Moons is not happy with himself. He wants to complete the pass. He's sliding left and right. Of course, they are putting their tires under a lot of stress, especially the guys that are trying to make the moves, because they're braking extremely late, going sideways, stomping down on that gas pedal. Also, the guys that are defending are putting their tires under stress as well. As we go back to the battle for P6, as Max Wright makes easy work out of Scott Malcolm, and he installs himself in the 6th position.
Malcolm Bay start there. Jamie Ayres has got the move on Stephen Burke, and that's a slowdown for Steve Burke. Ah, dear. He had the lead, and yeah, after coming back earlier on with a mistake from Jamie Ayres, for the 3rd time today he's been overtaken, and it doesn't look like he's got any response this time. What a mistake, Marco, there. He was not comfortable necessarily, but he had a couple of tenths. And now he's a full second behind.
Yeah, terrible lap, 59.5, so clearly a slowdown there, while Jamie Ayres had his, not only his personal best, but also the fastest lap of the race. So what a lap to get your personal best. And the race's fastest lap, of course, and you take the lead. So all looking good for the sweep from Jamie Ayres, but we've seen many mistakes by Jamie in this 3rd race. Hopefully for him, by getting the lead with 1 second and something up, will calm his nerves, or not his nerves, but his excitement. You are the champion and you are racing without, you're racing for just for the fun of racing right now in this final race of the season, and maybe, but still the pit stops left, strategies can kick in, and so we are not calling this race over as of now.
But just struggling through that little section of corners there, just losing a little bit of time. So we've got a handy lead though over the likes of Rick Cullinan and Ronald Moons. Robinson very much assuming his position from race 2 of watching everyone fight just ahead of him, with his gloves crossed, I imagine, hoping for a bit of contact. Moons closing in through this part of the circuit after Cullinan just ran a little bit off the racing line, 0.3 of a second. But of course, there's not much you can do really going into this one. Maybe Moons can go for the inside through the second part of Sunset Bend, taking a slightly earlier turn in there, but Cullinan so tight on the inside there. A little bit of a slide from him, a little bit of a slide from Moons as well. And once again, Marco, he just cannot line up that exit of Sunset Bend. Just seems to get compromised by the bumps too much.
Yeah, that's the story with Sunset Bend. You can take the line on the inside, but you have to be very careful, and more often than not, you have to be more, you know, concentrated on the bumps than on your opponent on your outside, so you end up not getting the position.
Jamie has pulled out the race lead by 0.7 of a second on that last lap. And took a 1.8 second lead in this race. So he is very much assuming control of this event now. Still Moons just following Cullen. Would you say Moons isn't being aggressive enough, Marco? It's difficult to tell for me at least, but he just doesn't seem to be willing to roll the dice with a daring move around this circuit.
Yeah, I think once again he's feeling out the car, and maybe since he's been, I think this is his first appearance in the championship, as we have some problems for Robinson, I think, because he's been flashing red all over the place. Let's see, I think he went on the grass a couple of times. Oh yeah, a little bit. Ooh, more than a little bit in the grass. He was able to save the car, so P5 is still his. So maybe he doesn't want to interfere in the other drivers' races because this is the final round of the season. But still, I mean, it's a pity because he has absolutely the pace to go and fight for second place, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Very close to that wall to Sunset Bend was a little bit scary there. He's just going to clip that, and yeah, over the course of you know, an hour of driving or so, you can just have a small lapse of concentration, just clip that inside wall. But so far he hasn't done that. At least Colin Robinson into the pits then, so he's willing to roll the dice a little bit early. We'll see what his pit stop time will be. It should be, oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it should be about 8 seconds. Judging by the rest of the season. Robinson, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, I'm proven wrong, 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 11-second pit stop. So that's a little bit of a benchmark, Marco, and we can kind of compare the rest of the drivers to that time.
Yes, we'll keep that. I mean, of course, usually it's just a splash of fuel and no tires in this series when you have the third race, so we can have a sort of baseline when the first guy pits to compare that stop. And we've seen many times one or two guys have extremely fast pit stops compared to the rest of the field, and that almost never works out, and you see guys running out of fuel. And this is a very long track, Sam, so if you make a mistake and the white flag comes out at the wrong time, you might find yourself out of fuel before you know it.
Yeah, we've seen Scott Malcolm maybe make a couple of those mistakes through this season. Of course, yeah, he ran out of fuel. In fact, in the last race at Brands Hatch, so with a little bit of the race to go, so that was not good to see. I think it's happened to him a couple of other times as well, but I remember race 1, I think he ran out of fuel just on the line, which cost him a couple of positions. Zumberg, 3 seconds ahead of Rafe Cullinan. Coming back at him now for the first time in this race. He was half a second faster on that last lap, was the Irishman. And so we might have a battle for second, third, and fourth by the end of this race. But Cullinan just getting a little bit of a slide, and all of a sudden he's just lost a couple of tenths. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what pit stop strategies these guys deploy, Marco. Is it worth Moon's pitting kind of ASAP just to get a bit of clear air? Because yeah, we've talked about it a little bit already today. He's just spent the entire evening stuck behind other drivers.
That would be a good idea. The only problem is that if he comes back behind one of these drivers that are sitting in 5th place down, he would be in that situation all over again, unless he's able to make a quick pass, but that has not been his forte tonight. He's been very, very tentative with his overtakes, and so if he comes out of the pits, let's say behind Malcolm or Robinson, would be in a tough spot, because he will lose more and more time, because of course those drivers are not as fast as Cullinan, which is, yeah, he's following him, but they're still maintaining a decent pace right now.
Oh, was that a little off there for one of the drivers? Thought I heard a bit of grass.
Yeah, Burke, I think, went into the grass, and that was some tire squeal, I think, coming from his car. He's still in second place, but he definitely went wide there.
Really close this time for Roland Mees. He's got a much better exit from Sunset Bend. And as we move on to lap 11 here, this is the closest he's been to a move on Rafe Cullinan for a long while. Still, though, cannot force the overtake, trying to get a better run through, coming out of turn 1. Nowhere near close enough to turn 2, though, to go for a lunge. And he'll just have to sit back behind and regroup and try to build up another attack. 20 minutes into this race now, it has actually gone past relatively quickly, this event so far. Actually, just looking back, Colin Robinson versus Scott Malcolm. The Murray Walker Cup battle is over, but there's a bit of pride in this. Well, I say pride. Malcolm's still got another pit stop to go, so it doesn't really matter. But Robinson would still like to get this move done, because he's still perhaps in with a chance of challenging the likes of Cullinan and Moons by the end of this race, and he'd like to get this one done as soon as possible.
As we say, a big hello to DVR Simulación. He's enjoying the race on YouTube, and I hope my Spanish wasn't as bad as it sounded, as we are getting maybe some, yeah. He was close, but not close enough. Robinson there, going into the hairpin. He has, I have to say, I really like this onboard shot from the BMW with the green buttons. Very, very nice, cool lighting. You don't have too many chances in iRacing in seeing the cars at night, especially in the official series. They tend to shy away, even though the Le Mans series this season had 2 night races. One at Daytona and the other at Spa-Francorchamps. Whilst, you know, almost strangely enough, or nothing, you know, depend on your stance on this, you see a lot more night races in the ovals because of the lights on those tracks. But still, nice cockpit from this BMW. Not the most recent car, but one that I absolutely love with the front engine. As we go back to Sunset Bend, once again, 22 minutes on the clock, 35 is the scheduled distance.
Yeah, I was just looking at those buttons and I was thinking, what do all the symbols mean? I wasn't sure. I don't know if we could just go quickly back to that. I mean, let's get an onboard with him making the move. I just want to look polite. I'm just trying to make a joke out of any of it. One of them looks like a champagne glass. I don't know what that one could be. One is ABS, yeah, headlights. It kind of makes sense. A snowflake, and yeah, there you go. Oh dear. Actually, what's the third one across on the left? It looks like a it looks like a circle to me. Anyway, he's going for a move on Scott Malcolm, and here he goes down the inside. Can't get it stopped there, a little bit deep on the brakes, and he can't really get it stopped, but I guess that counts as long as he doesn't get a slowdown here, Colin Robertson, and he is now ahead of Scott Malcolm.
Good move. Malcolm tried for the crisscross there, but there wasn't enough space. He was gentlemanly enough not to bump into his opponent as the two leaders are in together.
Yeah, I'm surprised they couldn't go a little bit further than this. They've gone into the pits as well, by all means. Resumes the lead then. Sorry, assumes the lead, not resumes. Don't know if this is the first time he's led the race.
It's been a long season, Sam. It's okay to make mistakes.
Well, the problem is I'm English and you're not, and yet you're pronouncing words and saying more appropriate words to me, so it's not good, Mark. You're making me look bad. Anyway.
Thanks for the flattering statements, but I make a boatload of mistakes. Moons, by the way, is in the lead for the first time today, and Malcolm is lagging behind Robinson quite a bit after the move. Kalinen is exiting the pits. So as you can see from this onboard shot, much cleaner dash for the Mercedes, a more modern GT3 car, whilst the BMW has been replaced by the M6. And look at this, side by side for first place, virtually Burke and Ayres.
What has happened to Jamie Ayres? We'll have a look at that just in a second. But he's got to hang on, because in race 2 he had an extra opportunity to go for the race victory. He's been given an extra opportunity in this race 3. As we go side by side into this next section of corners, he's almost ahead. Is Jamie Ayres going into the braking zone? He can't muscle his way around the outside though. And now can Stephen Berg hang on to maybe take away this race victory? Just looking at the pit stop times, Jamie Ayres, damn it doesn't go up for me. So
4.5 seconds longer stop for Ayres.
Thank you for that. I don't know why it's not on my screen. No, I was looking at the wrong line again. Oh dear, yeah, 4 seconds slower for Jamie Ayres, and the gap before the pits was about 4 seconds. So there you go. He is behind, and it'll be fascinating to see if Ronald Mears can factor into this when we see his pit stop time.
Here he comes, Ronald Moons in the pits, car number 6, as his opponents are on Almond Straight. Right is there. Does he have to stop? Yes. So he is out of the picture for the race win. As once again, it's almost like it's mandatory for two drivers getting into the corner to take different lines, even if they're not side by side. As the two race leaders scream past the pit entrance and pit exit and are clearly ahead of Moons, who I think is going to be safely in third place when Wright comes for his stop. Yeah,
Moons is well, he's 7.4 seconds off the lead, so he's lost a bit there, I think, to Stephen Burke. So yeah, not brilliant for Ronald Moons. Sorry, so what happened to Cullinan? Cullinan got a speeding penalty then. Okay, didn't notice that. Sorry, did you mention that, Marco?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
But I was questioning because I mean, Moons was in a battle with someone before the stop. Where is that someone? And then, of course, it was Cullinan, and he's way behind. And I think you are right, it's a speeding penalty. As you can see, Burke getting a little bit of a gap over Jamie Ayres, 0.8 of a second. Is it going to last? Is he going to hold on to this lead? Because every time he created a little bit of a gap for himself, Ayres was right back on his back bumper in a couple of sectors time. Let's see if Ayres is able once again to close the gap on Burke and reclaim that first place because, Sam, I also have to add, there's not a lot of time left in this race.
Yeah, he can. I don't know if it's fair to look at the clock or not, just to think, oh, I've only got a handful of laps to hang on to this race lead. So 4 more laps, I think, at the conclusion of this one. We've got 6 minutes and 45 to go. Ayres once again right back onto the tail of Stephen Burke, and this is where Burke struggles, just on the exit of that sunset bend, and he struggled again, and this time Jamie Ayres is going to have a brilliant opportunity. Burke doesn't like to defend too much, but he is going to defend this time, going into turn 1 here at Sebring. And Burke might just be able to hang on, but Ayres is going to try to come back, and Ayres could be off the circuit. He is off the circuit.
Great
onto
save.
the grass.
He saves it, but once again, very, very aggressive Jamie Ayres with nothing to lose. And he was very, very lucky because he could have been easily in the left side fence. You see the bump that completely messed up his corner and his car stability there.
Yeah, just lifted off, didn't he? Which meant that the downforce just decreased a bit, and he lifted off just as he went over a bump, and that really did unsettle the car back to 1.1 seconds. So there's no doubt he's going to make up that gap. It's going to take him probably to the end of the next lap to make up that gap, I think, at most. In fact, saying that, he's closed in right away, actually, through this little section of corner. So, yeah, Jamie Ayres is going to be back on the tail, and he's going to have a couple more opportunities to go for this race victory. Surprising though, Marco, how, you know, Jamie Ayres, a driver who's done pretty much every round of this championship, could be outsmarted on the fuel by Stephen Burke. Burke has taken the shortest amount of fuel of anyone else out on track, apart from Scott Malcolm, seemingly, but Malcolm often underfuels the car, so maybe, a little bit off the circuit there, so maybe Burke is underfueled, but yeah, Ayres with that 14-second stop, slow compared to his rivals. That's very unusual.
Yeah, like I said, he's basically been using those runoff areas a lot, especially in this third race. Lots of mistakes, a lot of aggressiveness from him. Once again, completely understandable since he's already with the championship in his pocket. But a bit surprising because I thought he was going to be a bit, still a bit focused on the race because he wanted to get that clean sweep of the race evening. But I mean, so far Ayres is creating a little bit of a gap there, and even though I wouldn't say it's going to be, I wouldn't say it's a lock that Burke wins the race. Certainly by keeping it clean consistently throughout the race is helping him out.
Yeah, Ayres isn't really making up the time that he would want. He's gained about a tenth and a half in this past lap, so he's edging closer. On that last lap, he did a 2-minute .2. That was due to the offload, so it's difficult to really tell. But yeah, the sectors pretty much level on pace, so just not making an impact as Jamie at the moment. And Stephen Burke, that gap that he currently holds could be decisive.
31, almost 32 minutes on this clock. Final race of the championship, final race of the day, final race for the foreseeable future of the BSR Grand Tour. Once again, replaced by next season with the Porsche Cup. So we are sending off this series in style with a fantastic night race here at Sebring. We are around, for those of you interested, around 3.5 minutes away from the fireworks. But they may happen beforehand on the track because Ayres is closing the gap once again.
Yeah, all of a sudden hanging back, and now he attacks. Does Jamie Ayres. He's got 2 laps to get this one done. He's not going to get it done into turn 1, but the gap is barely anything once again, and this battle is right back on. That last lap, Ayres was 0.6 faster. I'm not sure if it was just a single sector. In fact, that last sector, he was 0.3 faster, sector 7, and that's pretty much the final corner. Really does just show how strong he is through there. A little bit of track extending, and through this first part of the lap, he's failed to really make much of an impact on the red and black Mercedes just ahead. But Marco, all Ayres can do now is just get close coming out of Sunset and have a lunge into turn 1.
Yeah, especially because in the last lap he's not going to have that first. I mean, if you want on the when you go, of course, on the last lap you don't have the first corner. You don't go to get around one more time to that first corner. So, and that seems to be the preferred passing spot of Ayres, who is extremely close right now. So he might go for a move down at Sunset Bend if he cannot make a move in this lap, or if he cannot make a move the next time they go through to the start finish line.
Oh, he's looking for an overtake as Jamie has down the inside he goes. No, he's not brave enough to, or I say brave enough, just doesn't feel like it's the time to pull off the move. He has dropped a little bit of time though, through that little bit of the circuit, but an awesome run for Jamie as he absolutely nailed that corner, just leading onto this back straight, and now already going defensive is Stephen Berg. He's on the inside. Ayres has got much better straight line speed, and he's going to try to go around the outside through Sunset Bend. He feels as though he can just get the better run on the exit, although he just has to get out of the throttle. He hasn't got an awesome run, but it might just be good enough. Stephen Berg across the line to start the final lap of the season. Jamie Ayres to the outside into turn 1. Can Berg hold him off? It looks like he just about will for now, but Ayres can maybe get the cutback. Berg has got to go to the inside. He can cover off the inside, unlike so many other occasions. Ayres fancies his chances round the outside, but it's not going to happen for him unless he can just go for a dive into this one. He's running out of chances, Marque, and that was where his best chance gone.
Yeah, once again, cool, calm, collected. Stephen Berg was able to defend, and now I think there's only one chance left for Jamie Ayres, and that is going to be Sunset Bend. In this final lap is going to be all or nothing in that corner. Let's see if Jamie is happy with the 2 wins and the title, or if he wants to get the sweep and the title.
Oh, he's going for the inside here. Ayres is running out of opportunities, and he nearly had a chance there, but Berg late on the brakes seemingly. Not usually too late on the brakes. They take different lines through there. Berg usually a little bit slower on the entry and fast on the exit, but that time was willing just to extend his braking zone a little bit, and Ayres is all over the place. And could that be decisive? It's back up to 0.4 of a second. The gap even 0.5 of a second now. And we may only have Sunset Bend to decide who wins this final race of the season.
Just quickly, Dimmer. Oh, he's off. One mistake too many for Jamie Ayres, and he will have to be happy with P2.
But Stephen Berg leading this race. He's only going to be happy with P1. He's been given a few opportunities by Jamie Ayres today, but finally he has taken one. And Steve Berg rounds the final corner, and he wins the final race of the season in the BSR Grand Tour. Jamie Ayres will come home in 2nd position, with Ronald Moons rounding out the podium for another podium for him. Well done to Steve Berg. But I was just saying there, Marco, of course, yeah, he's been given a few opportunities by Jamie Ayres there, but that defense on the final lap, that was absolutely crucial in the end.
Absolutely fantastic. Colin Robinson then on the start finish line. I was saying just before the spin that Dimmer and Wright had to take a late pit stop for under-fueling their car, and this gives Scott Malcolm the 7th place, but going back to Berg, what a fantastic drive all race long. And yeah, Jamie kept giving him opportunities, and that was, like I said, one mistake too many, but that defense in the final lap was absolutely brilliant to turn 1 and turn 2. Fantastic stuff. Well-deserved win for Berg, well-deserved championship for Jamie Ayres. As you can hear, the fireworks are up and running here at Sebring to close the curtain on this BSR Grand Tour season.
Scott Malcolm very slow here. Is he going to let Max Wright past? On the line, it looks like he will do. Although I don't think Max Wright wants it. I think Scott Malcolm will take home that 7th position. And here is the close, I guess, of a bit of an era, not a very long era, but 2 seasons of the BSR GT using the GT3 cars. Next season, as Mark has already explained, moving to the Porsche. And yeah, great scene for this to end here at Sebring. I think we can now take you through the final results in this final race of the season. Stephen Berg wins his first race in the series, with Jamie Ayres coming home in second place, 5.3 seconds behind. Ronald Moons finishes in third, with Rafe Cullinan a distant fourth after a speeding penalty. Colin Robinson finishes in fifth. Lee Deemer finishes in sixth, with Scott Markham in seventh, and Max Wright rounds out this BSR GT field in 8th place. We are hoping to get some interviews. Is there anyone with us yet? No, not at the moment. But yeah, a final word, Marco, for next season in the Immortal Porsche Cup, I think it's called. That's going to be a new challenge for the drivers. We've already talked about it a little bit with the challenge of the car, and hopefully with a few more names into this series with a fixed setup, we're going to see a super competitive league on Sunday night.
Yeah, and since we don't have any drivers up for interview as of now, I would like to take this chance. Well, no, stop, because we have an interview, and I think it's going to be Scott Malcolm together with us for the interviews. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Marco.
So, yeah, go ahead, Sam.
No, you go ahead, Marco.
Okay, so, well, it has been a tough season for you, hard season. You were able to sneak into that showdown and, of course, fighting for the AM Championship. But I guess today it was very hard and it wasn't meant to be in the end.
Well, I had a game plan, but it didn't quite work out, and these things happen. I just want to say to Colin that well deserved, and I played bridesmaid yet again after finishing second last season. There's a few things I tried out tonight, just didn't quite work out.
So next season is going to be the Porsches. Are you interested in running with that car? Do you have any kind of experience with the Porsche Cup?
No experience, but I'm going to give it a go. See what happens.
I can tell you it's a very, very nice car to drive. I'm a terrible driver and I enjoy driving it a lot. It's very fun to throw it on the curbs, hopping onto wheels. Those brakes are absolutely terrifying and very tough to learn in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, you are going to have fantastic fun, and I'm hoping to see you around in next season, because you are going to be there as a contender, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you never know. I've signed up. I've had a shot of the setup that they're talking about using, and it's night and day compared to the iRacing default, which I was trying. I was like just touching the brakes and the thing was spinning around. I thought, this isn't the car for me. But after trying the setup that they're working on through the week, it just seems to be a bit more stable, a lot more drivable. So yeah, I'm willing to give it a go. See what happens.
Thank you very much, Scott. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
I'll just like to say to Lee Deemer, he's put on quite a good series here. It's just a pity that not a lot of people raced in it. It's been a quite fun series to run in. Pushed Colin as far as I possibly could. Few mistakes through the season, but these things happen. Just to you guys for putting on the broadcast as usual, and just want to say Max Wright for putting up with being teams Discord and sorting out the fuel each week, and yeah, and also Team Mad for letting me do this and giving me tips and you know what.
Thank you very much, Scott, and we'll see you, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more drink. I'll catch you later, guys.
So, Sam, I was thinking about one thing, and since, of course, the switch to Porsche is imminent, why don't you say if we can get one word of wisdom from the defending champion about how to drive that car and what to expect next season? What do you think?
Yes, I think so. Of course, who's going to know more than, of course, Sam Kumo?
Well, I think there's gonna be a lot of people who know way more than about it, but I think Marco was absolutely right there. It's the brakes that will take just a lot of time to get used to. It's some of those things that you just first you wanted to throw it into the bin, but just keep at it, keep trying it, and it will come to you, and it is extremely rewarding car to drive once you get the hang of it. So I'm really looking forward to next season.
Yeah,
Fantastic, yeah. So all the young drivers listening, this is the good advice. I can vouch for that 100%, and I can't wait to see you all on track in a couple of weeks. It's going to be amazing.
yeah, absolutely. What a season it could be. The third season of the BSR GT in a way, but it's not going to be the BSR GT. It's going to be the Porsche Immortal Cup. Certainly do not miss it. That's in 2 weeks' time. On Apex Racing TV, though, we've got a bit of a break for a week. We do have the Radical SR8 Elites on Saturday. Of course, sign up for that. It's still open, so if you want to check it out, go on the Radical forums and you'll see the post about her. But yeah, that will be on Saturday evening. But apart from that, we pretty much have a week off during week 13 before we get back going again for week 1 next season. But for now, from me, from Marco, and from Sam, we'll see you next time.